voice of those Cowboys, Brad Sham. Brad, is Ezekiel Elliott's 16 games that easy an answer? Is that what it came down to?
No, in my opinion, Andrew. I mean, that's a factor. He's one of their best players, and he's one of the best runners in the league. But I really thought that they made an organizational blunder in the offseason in the way they addressed both left guard and backup tackle. And as a result, I think that Chaz Green was not mentally in the right place to play left tackle when Tyron went out against Atlanta. In 2016, he replaced Smith for 2 or 3 games, and he was just fine. But in the offseason of 2017, in the early part of the season, they tried to make him a guard. He'd never done that. And then they benched him for Cooper, who did okay. And then they tried to stick Green back in at tackle against Atlanta. He was a disaster. That was the Adrian Claiborne 6-sack day. And I'm not sure that Dak Prescott really recovered, and I'm not sure that the coaching staff ever recovered, because I think the way that you call plays, forget about who the runner is. Alfred Morris was fine, and Rod Smith was a little bit of a revelation when he played. Not saying Elliott's not better, he is. But when the protection's not what it's supposed to be, and the second-year – people forget Prescott's a second-year quarterback last year. All that stuff goes together. It's why football is such a great game. So I think that they've got to make sure that their protection is sound and that the routes they're calling for the receivers to run complement the receiver's skills as well as what the quarterback does best. And then if they have Elliott, then that's icing on the cake.
All right. Other than that offensive continuity and a better line, or a better continuity, I guess is the word there, with the quarterback and the offensive line of the play calling, what would, Brad, in our final minute here, what would your number one offseason priority be for this team?
Oh, I think for me personally is figuring out a way to get Anthony Hitchens signed. They're gonna do something with Tank Lawrence, whether it's a tag or a long-term deal. David Irving's probably, I'm guessing, going to get a second-year tender and probably will be with them. People undervalue Anthony Hitchens, and I think that he is a critical piece of their defense, and they take a major step back if they lose him. I agree with Jane that they need more linebacking help, but they need to keep Hitchens. For me, that would be a pretty high priority.
Brad Sham has as much insight as anyone of the Cowboys. Been calling their games for a long, long time. Brad.